Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality that's here, and welcome to week 7 of...
The Summer of Jackie Chan!
And given that it's now kind of tradition, I'm gonna call it creepy. Okay, here we go!
Speak!
Creepy! How you been? How's life? Have you got an erection right now?
Say what now?
I said, have you got an... You know what, never mind. I'm just calling you up to see if you're up to doing our usual summer crossover event.
Actually, I've been trying to get a hold of you all summer. Weren't we supposed to review a bunch of Marvel movies?
Well, you see, the thing was, I kind of got behind, and then there were a few financial problems, and I thought for a second I might have to move, and after all of that...
In short, we're not doing it. I did leave you in charge, after all, so I shouldn't be surprised. I've kind of quit doing that.
Well, listen, I don't know if you watch my channel or not, but it's now...
The Summer of Jackie Chan!
And I was wondering if you might want to, help me out on one of them. Like you always do. For free.
Of course you did. Which one? The really homoerotic one where Jackie Chan takes a bath with Owen Wilson?
Nah, I already covered that one. Owen Wilson has a surprisingly muscular set of shoulders on him. But I'm going to be looking at Drunken Master 2, aka The Legend of Drunken Master. And it's kind of a pseudo-sequel / remake of Drunken Master. It's been 25 years and the jury's still kind of out on that one.
Sounds like a typical conversation with you. But alright, let me go. Put on pants.
You've been talking to you this whole time and you weren't wearing pants?
Just kidding.
Things I do for ad revenue. The Legend of Drunken Master, aka Drunken Master 2, aka Jui Quen 2, came out a whopping 16 years after the 1978 original in 1994. While there were pseudo-sequels and side stories between them, this is considered to be the official sequel. Or remake, as Jackie Chan might be 40 years old in this, but the guy he's playing is supposed to be like 20.
Your typical case of Dawson's casting, in other words.
It's a shame really, because I'm pretty sure a 20-year-old Jackie Chan would have an easier time bouncing back when the stunts don't go quite as planned.
I'm fairly certain that statement is tantamount to heresy among your kind. That and in Japan, where Jackie Chan is practically deified.
The story follows the tales of Fei-Hung Wong, the aforementioned legendary Drunken Master. This time, though, it's not how he learned the art, but instead a story about bad guys doing bad things that could threaten all of China. However, one man and several gallons of alcoholic beverages stand in their way.
Basically a live-action Popeye, but with booze. No. This movie has drinking in it. It won't necessarily make you wish you were drunk.
Maybe there's a difference? Anyway, let's take a look at Drunken Master 2, aka The Legend of Drunken Master, aka you know what, fuck it. There's booze and ass-kicking, so let's go. Be open to this Jackie Chan film starring Jackie Chan to see Jackie Chan, who plays the now properly named Fei-Hung Wong, in line for a customs check with his father, Fei-Hung Wong, played by Lung Ti, and the family servant, So, played by Chi Kwang Chong. Fei-Hung instructs his son to be sure to show the ginseng to the customs agents, because evidently it's very plot-relevant ginseng. However...
It's the ambassador, and he deserves respect. He's treated like royalty. He doesn't have to pay any duties. How about that one?
The trick to getting through customs fast? Be a white guy.
Fei-Hung has a much more elegant solution.
Hey, are you alright? Let's go.
Become an international, or at the very least national, smuggler of ginseng. That sounds like something to risk a life sentence in the labor camps for.
After planting the plant in the ambassador's luggage, the group boards the train, with the plan to get it back once the coast is clear.
What in the hell is going on? What's their problem?
Nothing. Just rush hour. You've seen this before. Twice, in fact.
Fei-Hung's game of... whatever this is. It's not shogi or chess, as far as I can tell.
Just call it Shangqi, creepy. It's basically Chinese chess.
You have no idea how surreal it is for me to hear you know something about China that doesn't involve booze or porn.
Anyway, their intellectual pursuits get interrupted by an impromptu game of baseball inside the train, followed by a bum rush of food vendors once the train comes to a stop, and before you can say Black Friday mob, Fei-Hung and So use this distraction to move to the back of the train so they can recover the illicitly smuggled ginseng.
Or they would if they weren't stopped by that insurmountable obstacle, first class.
You think you have reservations?
Yeah, we do.
Go on back.
Check inside.
I've had enough. Go on.
One more time and you're off the train.
Wait a minute, they put the first class dining car in front of the luggage car? Shouldn't the luggage car be in the back of the train, the first class dining car in the front of the train? Is the luggage car in the front of the train? Which direction are they going on this train? I can't tell, it's stopped.
You're asking me this right after we witnessed an outfield toss in the middle of economy class lodgings.
Ah, that is a good point. So, how are Fei-Hung and So supposed to sneak past super secret ninja kung fu powers?
No, they're going to unleash a flock of chicken and geese that they got from somewhere inside of the dining car. Perfectly logical, rational plan.
Look out! They're going wild! Look out! Here, hold it.
What in the... You know what, I'm counting it.
A blue-thonged gay stripper moment? Haven't seen that for a while.
Well, I was trying to play nice by YouTube's guidelines, but they're going to demonetize the entire review over a couple of seconds of Popeye anyway.
Yeah, good point.
Now that KFC has had its revenge, Fei-Hung makes his way to the very back or front or somewhere on the train where somebody else is stealing his ginseng, and also delivers a smack to the face.
What?
Of course, Fei-Hung cannot tolerate such a thing, which leads to the very first Jackie Chan action sequence. Grabbing his, other ginseng, he follows the man to the top of the train until some guards force their pursuit under the train, where the other guy just so happens to have a handy-dandy spear, which he knows how to use. Evidently, you use it by getting dangerously close to stabbing Jackie Chan's crotch. Their fight eventually spills out to the nearby building, where Fei-Hung can show off his true power.
Drunken boxing. That's right. I'm the master.
Oh, wait, hold on just a second. We spent all of last movie watching him train to become the Drunken Master, and now here he just is the Drunken Master?
That's gonna make the fights go a lot faster.
The fight does go on for a bit, but while we get a display of Jackie Chan's crotch, there's no actual attempt at assault on it. This time. However, the battle is cut short when the mysterious ginseng thief informs Fei-Hung that he's about to miss his train.
Nice try, old man, but now you gotta get it. Aye, all right, kid. Come back here. Oh no, the train!
Well, yeah, it was only supposed to stop for like 10 minutes. Which still leaves me wondering where in the hell he found all those birds.
Blue-thonged gay stripper moment. Remember, those never get explained.
Either way, despite the attempts on life and crotch, the two part on good terms. However, the train thief is surprised to find out the ginseng he stole was in fact ginseng. Well, then it's up to a sweep of the train to find out exactly what was in that other identical package.
Okay, next.
Shit.
Now the other box.
A small, elaborately carved piece of shit.
It's a jade stamp.
He clearly said it was shit.
That's not... I thought I was done with all of your misinterpretations after we had left Japan.
Luckily, the guards never get a clear look at the thing in the box. Fei-Hung takes advantage of a distraction, another one, from the son of an important general, counterintelligence in the English dub, which gives him enough time to hide the seal. Meanwhile, the big bad British boss, aka Louis Roth,
No relation.
is the evil leader of an evil smuggling ring of smugglers selling priceless Chinese artifacts to British museums. However, the buyer they found will only take the whole shipment if they have the Emperor's Jade Seal.
Which has fallen into the hands of China's second clumsiest folk hero. Also, probably second drunkest.
Hey, he was able to hold his own against Like, one old guy, but he was sober the whole time. At least in this movie. Wait, why would they not accept the shipment without one piece of it, a jade stamp of all things?
It's not that unusual. If it's part of a collection, then the loss of the stamp will drastically decrease the value of the overall shipment.
Ah, now it makes sense. So while the evil bad guy with a British accent tells his goons to redouble their efforts and find that jade seal, we ignore that for now. We've got to introduce Fei-Hung's stepmother, Ling, played by Anita Mui. Yeah, same Anita from Rumble in the Bronx. Here she does less street racing and exotic dancing and more mahjong with the girls. At least when nobody is looking.
The master is back!
Yeah, the master. Oh God, it's my husband!
And from here, we take a left turn away from kung fu action to black comedy slapstick sitcom antics.
Hey, Mom. Whose money?
And it goes on like this.
There's a black box.
Oh, yeah?
Look inside it.
Ah, another ginseng. I can't believe it.
Strychnine.
What for?
For you.
Oh, no, madam. Please don't tease me this way.
Teasing.
And on like this.
You think this looks like ginseng?
Oh, yeah! It looks just like it. Where did you find it?
Father's bonsai tree.
And still on for... Exactly how long is this movie? I mean, we went from epic railroad track battle to poisoning some poor old guy with a bonsai root.
Yes, in fact, the bonsai root is poisonous, and they're giving it to one of Master Wong's patients, who was expecting ginseng and may in fact die just so they can keep the fact that said ginseng was stolen by mistake a secret from Master Wong.
I'm fairly certain this guy would rather have the truth than a malpractice suit.
Nah, I'm with the wacky stepmother and drunken boxer. They know what they're doing.
Decker, anyone is a savant compared to you when it comes to time management and planning. At least some of the people watching here have seen you on Live and Wired.
We suddenly transcend into what looks like a completely different movie. This is the local steel factory, owned and operated by bad British boss from earlier. He's pissed because the jade seal was stolen and orders the workers to keep working indefinitely, all through the night. Fuck if I know why. It's not like any of this gets his seal back, and he smuggles the stuff he's smuggling with the steel shipment, so in that sense, wouldn't it help to have less steel to take up space while you're smuggling so much shit?
I guess? Maybe it's supposed to show how evil he is.
All of you right now, get back to work!
Case in point.
Holy shitballs! And here I thought Kroger was bad. Back then I only almost got crushed to death once.
But random acts of malpractice and union leg breaking aside, this is a drunken boxing movie, so we should probably have a demonstration of more drunken boxing before we get back to the plot. Or plots, as it were. Anyway, while shopping in the market, Fei-Hung is asked to demonstrate his skill to a potential love interest.
Whose name escapes me and doesn't do much for this movie.
None of that matters, creepy. The point is we get to see Jackie Chan demonstrate more badassery. Admittedly against a fishmonger, but still it counts. And then it's over. Wait, this is still the same movie, right? Grippy, you didn't slip in a Chinese men's-only skin flick while you're at it, did you?
No, sorry to disappoint you again, Decker.
On with the various interwoven stories, Fei-Hung's father is trying to raise money to help the people affected by the poor crops and bad weather as of late, while elsewhere Fei-Hung's stepmother is lending out some jewelry for cash to help pay to get some actual ginseng and maybe cover their asses. However, the big bad guys have correctly surmised that it was in fact the Wong family who have acquired the jade seal and assault the woman, stealing her jewelry, because nobody can check a box before running away with it in this movie. Ah, well, we've had plenty of drunken boxing, but no drinking yet. It's time to remedy this.
But Father will kill me.
You can blame it all on me. You're going to lose if you don't, so just go ahead.
Didn't take much to convince him, though it's not as if it took more than one bottle to...
Here you go, another bottle.
Or his superhero name is Frat Boy.
2 at once? Neverling, do you think that's a good idea? Don't worry, it gives him power.
To say nothing of the grandmother of all hangovers.
What the hell is that?
What does it mean when there's a picture of a skull?
Good stuff.
Having now achieved drunken mastery through the power of being shit-faced, Fei-Hung easily disposes of his adversaries. However, none of this matters since Master Wong has arrived.
And is none too thrilled at the sight of his son's public drunkenness and brawling in the streets.
I said stop it! No, please, Master Wong, don't hurt him. He's drunk. Mom, don't be another bad. Go home now.
Yeah, this is where the movie gets a little uncomfortable to watch.
You even fought with me, your own father. You disgraced your family name.
If you're going to hit me, just go on.
You know that's not a bad idea. I'll give you some wine. Come on, open up. Come on.
To be fair, he did just find out about the dead bonsai tree as well, and how that root was used to possibly kill one of his patients, all because they just didn't want to have to pay taxes on that ginseng earlier. But still, murdering your own son over this is a little far, don't you think?
Well, what do you expect? He doesn't have the rival family to pawn the responsibility off onto in this version.
Out of here!
And without them, Master Wong unceremoniously tosses his son out into the street. Not to just train under some drunken master out there known for crippling his students. This time, Daddy plays for keeps.
Fei-Hung responds to this by going to the local pub and getting more shit-faced. However, he's so drunk by the time the big bad British boss's henchmen find him that he can't fight back.
Yeah, apparently there's more to drunken boxing than just getting drunk. Sorry, Decker. You have to find the balance between wasted and sobriety. Otherwise...
Fei-Hung.
Fun fact, that sign was the only thing they had on set that would cover Jackie Chan's massive manhood.
Huh. So that's why the spear guy was aiming for it. If it really is that big, the better question is, how'd he miss?
Never mind that right now, Creepy. Fei-Hung is so ashamed by his defeat that he swears to Master Wong that he will never perform drunken boxing again! A vow which will undoubtedly be broke, as there is only 39 minutes left in this movie.
With that in mind, and the fact that this whole Jade Seal plotline is going nowhere fast, who would happen to show up but the thief from the train? As it turns out, this is none other than Master Fu Wenqi, played by Lau Kar-leung. He's working against the evil British smugglers and trying to get the Jade Seal of the Emperor back so that China may be able to preserve its heritage, rather than seeing it sold off to be gawked at in Western museums.
I'll be honored to help.
Thank you, Fei-Hung. It's awfully quiet all of a sudden.
Probably because all the extras walked off before the cameras started rolling.
Well, they better get their asses back here fast if those leg breakers from the steel mill are anything to go by. You do not want to get on this movie studio's bad side.
And hey, they're punctual to boot.
This would be the Axe Gang, a group of miscreants named for their use of hatchets to strike fear into their enemies. Either that or the overwhelming cloud of body spray that follows them around. No bother, this might be a small army of armed enemies, but lest we forget, they have to deal with Jackie Chan. Even better, Master Fu Wenqi is there to make sure Fei-Hung is fighting at peak performance.
Take it off. Okay.
Gravy, are you certain this is not one from the Midnight Wank Theater collection?
I was beginning to wonder if you'd slipped one in on me.
The Axe Gang runs into some trouble with sober but greased up Master, and while Wang Chi was fine with taking an axe to the back, the addition of a bullet was a bit much. Now the big bad British boss has the Jade Seal and is ready to ship it back to his home for a fortune.
So there's only one thing that Jackie Chan can do.
What are you thinking? Nothing.
Or, never mind, I guess there isn't.
That'd be one hell of an anticlimactic ending.
Fortunately, the nothing he was thinking about was actually breaking into the British embassy to steal back the Jade Seal. The only problem with this plan is the fact that he's a drunken master trying to stay on the wagon, not a ninja. Thus, he and his friend are easily captured and beaten for the amusement of their captors. It comes down to his family to just give up their land in exchange for their freedom.
Fei-Hung, this fight is over. We can't do this anymore.
So we've gone from a regular ending to a bad ending. How much more time is left for them to turn this around?
About 20 minutes or so?
Oh, that's plenty of time in action movie land. You could fill in the gap with a training montage.
The worst thing of all, however, even worse than the theft of China's sacred heritage, being made to take the lower bunk in a jail cell and poisoning some old man, is the steel factory being closed. This, however, proves to be the straw that breaks the collective camel's back. Now the whole town, which seems to consist of kung fu masters and nothing else, are rallying together to storm the place.
Counted among them is Fei-Hung's stepmother, Ling.
I'm going to battle.
But wait, madam, you can't go on your condition.
What condition? Come on, I'm only pregnant.
Oh, it's even better. Now she has the advantage in battle, fighting as 2 against 1.
Decker, remember what we said about your skills at planning, or lack thereof?
For some reason, though, everyone else seems to think this is a problem, and she should sit this one out. The rest of town, though, heads down to the old foundry to take it back. First things first, use some flying snakes to disarm the guards.
No guns.
And then keep in mind that this is a martial arts movie, and therefore while it would be handy, it would still feel a little underwhelming if you just shot all the bad guys and ended it.
Gotta say, I never thought I'd hear you praise a movie for not erupting into a firefight.
Well, I'm not. I would much rather they establish that while Fei-Hung is good and sauced, bullets just don't work against him.
I worry about you sometimes. You know that, right?
Then again, this is a Jackie Chan movie. Can't rule that possibility out. Or is that Steven Seagal? Regardless, Fei-Hung enters the factory, dressed like drunken Jesus, to square off against...
Legs.
Huh? Oh, where?
Drunken boxing? Huh? Well, what do you say?
Damn it, Creepy.
What are you griping about? It's a fight scene.
Oh, you're right. Bring on the man legs. Unfortunately, despite having established his badassery up to this point, this is the final fight scene of the movie, which means Jackie Chan has to lose first, before he can win. And when he does, thanks to some wise words from his father passed on to him via Ling, through a fan.
What's this? A boat can float in water, but also sink in it? Ah, a bit of Daddy's wisdom.
Which means, what, exactly?
Get good and sloshed before you fight, but don't go overboard. I mean, I guess.
Alright, this is it.
Holy shit! Slow down, crazy! That stuff's gotta be 180 proof!
I don't get it. I mean, what is that? I mean, alcohol, I guess, but what kind?
That's the alcohol they use to keep the fire going in the foundries. Basically, it's ether.
So, after downing enough of this stuff to power a small generator, Jackie Chan strikes back. There's punching, and grabbing, and spinning, and drunken kung fu master ass kickery that goes on, and on. And for a long fighting climax, this is still a really long fight scene. After enough tenderizing, Fei-Hung finishes the bad guy off with some WWE furniture destruction. Therefore, happy ending! The jade stamp has been secured for the Emperor, the artifact smuggling ring has been eliminated, and even Bill Tung shows up to congratulate the Drunken Master, who is nowhere to be found.
Fei-Hung is still feeling some of the after effects of all that he's been through.
So, bright lights, loud noises, standing up, pretty much all of that is off the table for right now.
Well, hell, after drinking ether, I'm surprised he didn't go blind.
他说酒精不但烧坏了少爷的眼睛，连脑子也烧坏了。
Oh, how funny. So it's still a bad ending. Okay, well, that was The Legend of Drunken Master, aka Drunken Master 2.
I mean, despite a few bumps along the way, I really did enjoy it.
Wait, you did? 300 bored you, but this is okay?
Dude, It's Jackie Chan, and one of his classics.
I mean it. The plot is almost too dense for your basic martial arts flick, but that's honestly what I enjoy about it. There's a legitimate mystery going on in the background, lots of amazing fight scenes that manage to razzle and dazzle without the use of extensive wireworks or CGI. Plus, I really enjoyed the comedic moments. True, some of it gets very dark, and it does take a turn towards realism at roughly the halfway mark.
I did enjoy it too, but you kind of expect that from me. You've got obvious bad guys, obvious good guys, ass kickery from here to the horizon, and it's all powered by booze. Or, well, most of it. Some of it. The important parts are. I guess that's the most disappointing thing about Drunken Master 2, honestly. There's plenty of fight scenes and even drunken boxing, but there's a distinct lack of drunken fights during the course of the movie.
That would be the thing that you zeroed in on, Decker. Despite this, the acting for the movie is pretty solid all around. It's a great look at Jackie Chan's acting chops and not just his ability to perform extensive choreographed fights on camera. My favorite character by far was Lin, played by Anita Mui, who was having a bit of a career revival. Overall, Drunken Master 2 is a movie that doesn't require you to have seen the first one. The action is good, the characters that are meant to be funny succeed at being funny, and the story is engaging enough to keep the audience mostly entertained when drunk and sober punches alike aren't being thrown, coming in at 4.5 bottles with a skull on the label out of 5.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but when I'm looking at The Legend of Drunken Master, I assume the Master's going to be drunk a little more often. Other than that, I did certainly enjoy watching, even if I really wasn't hooked by many of the side characters. It's certainly an entertaining take on the tale, and while different, I do prefer it to the original, coming in at 4 horrifyingly abusive fathers that were the good guy all along, out of 5. Not the pinnacle of filmmaking, but I feel like this is a movie that was just shooting for a 3, and was too damn good for that.
Philistine.
What? I gave it a freaking 4. You know I don't do half stars, creepy. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado.
And I've been that long-haired creepy guy.
Yes, and remember,
Do not actually attempt to get drunk before you perform complex martial arts. This is a movie, after all.
creepy, they already know. I already know that. I wasn't planning anything. No. See ya.
Wash your face. Pop the bottle. What's wrong? You have a hangover?
Everybody was rough for face. I was a kid who finds that something.
You know what? I just wanted to fucking record. And now I have cats and things going off and and you're probably laughing your head off at this right now. Damn the airplane and the car.